Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Community Unitarian Universalist Church of Plano. My name is Steve Mason, one of your worship associates today. Today, in the absence of Reverend Aya, you get not one, but 5 worship associates. How many worship associates does it take to put on a service when the Reverend is not here? 5. Good answer. Collaborating with me today are Sarah Reiling, Joyce Thompson, Sandy Farlow, Jeannette Bailliee. And in addition, my wife, Jen Mason, has created some very lovely slides today.
Woohoo, Jen! Jen!
Collectively, we will share the pulpit, some inspiring words, hopefully. For our call to worship today, I'm going to read something written by Heather Ryan Starr. It's called Come In From the Wind. On this day, as with so many Sundays, we come in from the whirling world, the wind, the bright sun, the push and the pull of tides and time, from the strife of global news and local stories, the pain we hear about, the demands of our spirits, the do this now culture that we live in. We come into this sanctuary from that windstorm, the rush of speeding drivers on the roadways, the rustling silence that fills some of our homes, or the vastness of a once busy and perhaps now quieter home. All of this can leave us feeling stirred and rather unsettled. When we give our attention to what's going on around and beyond us in this throbbing world, we can feel windblown. We need places where we can come and find our grounding once again. Come in from the wind, come in from the whirl. May this be a place where we can experience genuine stillness, even for just a few moments. May this be a place we can count on as we settle into our seats or as we turn on our computers and come seeking our congregational homepage. May we feel pulled into a restorative time of energetic peace. May this be a place of learning, of nourishment, a community that generates new zest in us for the dynamic beauty of this world. Let us worship together. Unitarian Universalism is a religion characterized by a free and responsible search for truth and for meaning. UUs assert no creed, but instead, we are unified by the search for spiritual growth, whatever that might be. The thread that binds us is our shared covenant. Please join me in saying it together. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in freedom, and to help one another.
It's quiz time.
That's right. So once again, I want to thank Jen Mason for our beautiful slides today.
Yeah. Yes.
Now on to our multiple choice quiz. I will ask a question and give you 3 possible answers. You will be able also to see it on the screen. Since you're the contestants, you would just call out the answer. Jeannette?
You don't need a buzzer.
Yeah, you don't need a buzzer.
No buzzers are necessary.
Yes, no buzzer, just call out the answer. Jeannette, tell our lucky contestants what they will win.
A new car!
Yay!
No! I'm so sorry. A year's supply of Ovaltine. No. I'm sorry about that too. But that would be a consolation prize anyway. You win the deep, intrinsic satisfaction of learning and understanding more about UU tradition.
Yay, let's begin.
Yay, let's begin. All right.
What religions merged in 1961 to become Unitarian Universalism? A. You don't.
Let her.
We've got to let me have the fun of reading it. A. Unity Church and Unification Church. Ha ha ha. All right. B. The Methodist Church and Primitive Baptist Church. And C. The Universalist Church and the Unitarian Church. Yay!
C. there we
see,
go.
The answer, yes.
There we go.
It is the Universalist Church and the Unitarian Church. Jeannette, what else can you tell us about Unitarian Universalism?
Unitarian Universalism is a liberal religious tradition that was formed from the consolidation of two religions, Unitarianism and Universalism. In the United States, the Universalist Church of America was founded in 1793, and the American Unitarian Association in 1825. In 1961, these two churches consolidated, and these faiths became the new religion of Unitarian Universalism, and the UUA, or Unitarian Universalist Association of America, was formed.
All right, question number 2. What famous person is not a Unitarian Universalist or UU? A. Clara Barton, the founder of the American Red Cross. B. Rod Serling, the creator of the Twilight Zone TV series. Or C. Beatrix Potter, children's author and illustrator who created the beloved Peter Rabbit and a host of other characters.
What do we hear? Who says A? Who says A?
It's a trick question. They all are.
Oh, they all are.
Clara Barton was a Universalist. Rod Serling started out as a Unitarian and then became a Unitarian Universalist after the consolidation, and Beatrice Potter was a British Unitarian. Jeannette, can you tell us more about famous UUs?
Yes, I can. Thank you, Johnny. I mean, Sarah. There are many Unitarians, Universalists, and Unitarian Universalists whose names you would recognize. So here's an example. A few months ago, the Barbie movie came out. Some of you saw it. Some of you know people who saw it. The writer and director of the Barbie movie is Greta Gerwig, and she was raised in the UU church. She actually credits being a UU for the values that she holds as an adult and the inspiration for her work as a filmmaker. She's actually done way more than the Barbie movie, but that's the most recent thing that you would recognize her from. But there's another example for you. So if you'd like to read a list of famous UUs that has been compiled, you can visit the UU website, or you can also visit the Dictionary of UU Biographies online. Back to you, Johnny.
All right.
Sarah.
Francis David was the bishop of the Transylvanian Unitarian Church. He was arrested for a crime and sentenced to life in prison. He died in the royal dungeon of Endeva in 1579. What was his crime? A. Innovation. B. Public intoxication. C. Insulting the royal family of Transylvania.
Who says A? Who says C?
No one thinks public intoxication, right? Okay.
we have one.
What's our answer? A. It's innovation, which is questioning and challenging religious doctrine. Jeannette, can you tell us more?
I can, Johnny. So we are going to travel back to 16th century Transylvania, that's Romania, for this story. For a short time, religious tolerance was the rule of the land there. The newly crowned King John Sigmund found himself ruling a country that was divided religiously amongst Roman Catholics, Calvinists, and Lutherans. One of his advisors was preacher David Ferenc, who is known in the West to us as Francis David. In those days, matters of religious doctrine in Transylvania were fully aired by having a formal debate. So King John Sigmund scheduled a debate for March 3rd, 1568. And he invited those representing the unity of God position to debate the Trinitarians. If you say Unitarian, you also need to know what Trinitarian is. The debate lasted 10 days because the internet hadn't been invented yet. Otherwise, it would have been 10 months. Francis David represented the Unitarian position and relied on Scripture to support his arguments. At the conclusion of the debate, David's arguments were seen as stronger, and many in Transylvania embraced Unitarianism. By 1571, Unitarianism had been given legal recognition. John Sigmason had been ill for some time, and he passed away not long after this recognition took place. He was succeeded by a Catholic leader named Stephen Balthury, who dismissed most of the Unitarians at court. While reaffirming a policy of tolerance for those Christian religions that had been named in the 1571 decree, he also declared that he would not allow any further religious innovation. Francis David began to preach his heretical ideas from the pulpit. He continued to do so even after the prince ordered him to stop. He was arrested and tried for the crime of innovation and died in prison.
Our next question. What is the Green Sanctuary Program? A program that invites congregations to protect the environment. C, a program to utilize church buildings and grounds to shelter the unhoused. C, a program to decorate church sanctuaries in cool, soothing colors.
A.
All right, let's see the answer. It is A, a program that invites congregations to protect the environment. I bet Jeannette can give us some more information about green sanctuaries.
Yes, I can. Now, since we are practicing the Blue Sanctuary Program here, we may not necessarily be talking about our church, but you do need to know about the Green Sanctuary Program. It's actually been around for quite a while. The UUA started it in 1989. And the purpose of the program is to create a means by which congregations can work towards focusing on the theological, spiritual, and ethical aspects of human activities that affect the health and sustainability of the living earth. So you can consider it a climate justice program. Each participating congregation completes at least 12 projects and 4 focus areas: worship and celebration, religious education, environmental justice, and sustainable living. Approximately 30% of UU congregations have received the Green Sanctuary accreditation at this time.
On to our next question. In a few weeks, we will be starting this year's Guest at Your Table program. How many of you have taken part in this program over the past years? All right.
Guest at your table.
Guest at your table. So the next question is, what is the sponsor organization of Guest at Your Table?
This is good.
A, the Unitarian Universalist Association, UUA. B, the North Texas Unitarian Universalist Congregations, NTEC. Or C, the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee, UUSC. C? C? Okay, let's reveal the answer. It is
C. In fact C.
Jeannette, what is the UUSC?
The Unitarian Universalist Service Committee, or also known as the UUSC, is a nonprofit, non-sectarian organization that advances human rights together with an international community of grassroots partners and advocates. So when war broke out in Ukraine, it was the UUSC that was on the ground working with organizations close to that area in order to help. The UUSC advances human rights and social justice around the world, partnering with those who confront unjust power structures, mobilizing to challenge oppressive policies. Their work is grounded in the belief that all people have inherent power and dignity.
All right. Now for our final question.
Oh, it's the lightning round.
It is, yes.
No, it's not.
In a way, it is. It's the flame round.
It's a flame round. That's different than lightning. There we go.
What is the meaning of the flaming UU chalice? A, churches and temples have always used oil lamps. B, it was designed to help the Unitarian Service Committee documents look official during attempts to smuggle people out of Nazi-occupied Europe. It's a reminder of the chalices used for communion is answer C. What do you think it is?
B, I'm hearing a lot of B's. C?
Let's reveal the answer. It might be all the answers and many more. Can you clarify this for us, Jeannette?
Yes, I will, Sarah. So here we are, we're participating in a denomination that has this symbol, and yet the history of the symbol is kind of a serpentine path. Many people are surprised to learn that lighting a chalice as part of worship only found its way into UU congregations in the very early 1980s. But the path it took to reach the sanctuary is a very Unitarian Universalist one. Originally, the flaming chalice was a two-dimensional image, stamped on documents created by the Unitarian Service Committee to help Jewish refugees escape Nazi persecution on the eve of World War II. The design had been hastily put together by the artist Hans Deutsch, himself a refugee. Deutsch was working at the direction of the USC's director, Reverend Charles Joy, who believed that such a logo would make their paperwork look more official. Reverend Joy would later say that the design was reminiscent of lamps of holy oil used by the ancient Greeks and Romans on their altars, and that the flame itself represented a spirit of helpfulness and sacrifice. We are not quite sure the exact point in time when the chalice is a two-dimensional stamp, a two-dimensional piece of art, on a piece of paper transformed itself into the three-dimensional physical chalice that is used in worship and other gatherings. All evidence, though, suggests that the path leads through our children's religious education programs. Religious education curricula used in the late 70s stressed the meaning of the chalice and encouraged the children to make chalices in different types of artistic media. Eventually, those chalices turned into objects that could be safely lit. The first documented uses of chalices in the main sanctuary are from Sundays on which the children and youth led the congregation and demonstrated their practice to the adults. How wonderful that a children's church craft captured the imagination of an entire denomination.
Thanks for playing our quiz today. I hope you had fun and learned a little bit more about Unitarian Universalism.
For our benediction today, I might call it a response to our call to worship this morning, when I shared about coming in from the whirling wind. The benediction are words by John Murray. Go out into the highway and byways. Give people something of your new vision. You may possess only a small light, but uncover it and let it shine. Use it in order to bring more light and more understanding to the hearts and minds of all men and women. Give them not hell, give them hope and courage. Preach the kindness and everlasting love of God.